In this episode, you'll hear why having no plan B was the only way forward and how building High Counselor turned into solid proof for an EB1A approval, from fear to media features. Here's how it all came together. So basically, what you're saying is, there are people who say that if your plan A doesn't work, you should always have a plan B. But you are one of them who say that if you want your plan to be successful, never have a plan B.
If you're okay with the plan B, then have plan B. I was not okay with having the second plan. I came to the US just to experience entrepreneurship, right? Raise funds from VCs, having that experience, right? It was not specifically about, okay, to build X amount of dollars, but it was about, okay, how is it like building a startup here? What type of support you get? What type of ecosystem you get? And it was very important to get out of a job, to give it a full-time effort. Deloitte was a great opportunity. I enjoyed my work there. As an employment, I think if anybody's considering Deloitte, they should certainly go for it. But it was just my need to start a company, right? And that's why I continuously tried. I mean, it can be different for different. I won't say that okay, everybody has to start a company. No, it's very different for everyone. So it was my requirement, so I went ahead for it. Right, someone else's requirement can be totally different.
Absolutely, absolutely. So coming to my next question. So immigration process can be real intimidating, right? So was there ever a time when you felt fearful or when you felt that maybe this path is not for me?
Absolutely, and you would feel that all the time, right? I mean, I got EB1 back in 2020 I got O1 visa for the first time back in 2020, and after that, I never filed for EB1 immediately. Rather than I continued on O1 visa for a very long time. So after 3 years in 2022, it was about to expire, so I had to refile it, right? To get the O1 visa for another 3 years. So I refiled it, got O1 visa for another 3 years. So my profile was always in a good standing to qualify for O1 and EB1 criteria. Still, when I decided to file for my EB1 application, I had this imposter syndrome that okay, my profile may not be good enough for EB1 criteria, right? Although every time I consulted with the lawyer that, hey, can you look at my profile and see if I should file for it? I mean, they have said yes a long time back that your profile is good enough. But I think all of us have this fear that because there are clear guidelines, but you cannot get a binary response in 0 and 1 that okay, you somewhere submit the criteria, okay, you're going to get approved or not going to get approved, right?
I think
So
Indians mostly.
yeah,
Yeah.
that fear is always there, and I think that fear should always be there because when you have fear related to anything, I think that's true for business, that's true for your job. You try to do a little extra, and that little extra always puts you in a better situation compared to
Right.
others.
But now High Counselor has become a very recognizable name, right? But back then you were just getting started. So my next question to you is, how did building High Counselor become a part of your evidence for EB1, and what role did it play in strengthening your EB1 case?
So, yes, that's a great question. By the way, building High Counselor was, no, the idea came from my time at Deloitte when, because I was working there as a tech consultant, I was in a techno management role, and the Deloitte's hiring process was very lengthy as well as it was very critical. So, and I found that a lot of people couldn't crack technical interviews, behavioral and HR interviews. And during my time at Deloitte, I used to take a lot of interviews. So I came up with an idea that if we can provide better interview prep as well as better mentorship for job search, it will be easier for people to get into FANG, Big Four, or McKinsey, Bain, BCG type of companies. So the idea was germinated from my time at Deloitte. And then when we worked on this idea, we identified that, okay, there are a lot of sections in the society, especially in the US, that need help with our service, and we can probably tailor it for them as well. For example, people coming from low income background, students coming from community colleges because they don't have that great resources. Like, for example, I was very fortunate to get my master's degree from Duke University, where we had a lot of career counselors and mentors available that helped us to find a job, right, and help us to guide in the right direction. But when I visited, I think one college, it was a community college, there was one career counselor for 500 or 600 students, and it's never possible for one career counselor to focus on 500 students.
Right.
So we identified some of the areas where we can really make an impact through high counselor, and that's how we started working on those areas. And I mentioned about impact of high counselor on those sections of society, and that really worked in our favor, I guess.
Okay, so let's break it down for our viewers. So the EB1A has 8 criteria, and you need to meet at least 3, right, Aditya?
Yep.
How did you tackle these criterias, and what's the biggest mistake you see people making when they try to qualify?
How did I meet? So every criteria has its own strategy. Every criteria, you need to tackle it in a different manner. For example, the criteria of getting featured in different media, you need to network with a lot of journalists. You need to pitch your story on what technical expertise you have and how you can contribute to their future stories, and if they're willing to have you as one of the contributors, right? That's the strategy to get featured in different media. Another one could be writing on social media, continuously write on social media, share your thoughts, right? If any of your social media posts get picked up or gets viral, you are automatically approached by a lot of journalists across the US and across the world, right?
Right.
So I used to continuously write on LinkedIn, and I remember one day I wrote a post on LinkedIn on how to make resumes more effectively for different companies, specifically for Amazon. And the next morning, when I woke up, that particular LinkedIn post had about 13 million views. It had almost like 1 lakh people liking that post, 10,000 people commenting on it. Uh, and that, I think, attracted a lot of attention in different media. And I got featured in about like 30, 40 media, right?
Wow.
So, and you can never plan that, because uh, there is no, I mean, no, I strongly believe that nobody can give you a rule or a formula that, okay, do this on LinkedIn or or YouTube or Instagram and you will certainly get viral. There is no possibility around that. So continuously doing that work, right, continuously share some really good information that can help someone's in achieving their dreams, and then you'll find that one of the posts would probably work out, and and that will do the job for you. So as I said, so that's why there are different, and the same thing is true for when I said you can reach out to a lot of journalists. So if you think that you can reach out to 10 journalists, pitch them your technical expertise, ask them to take your contribution, that's a bad idea, because 10 is a very small number. I remember I reached out to probably 500 or 600 journalists who actually wrote articles in my category of work, and I pitched them that, hey, I've worked with Deloitte, and I've specifically worked on cloud and data science related projects. Is there anything that I can contribute in your future stories? Anything related to employment? And I think out of those 500, 600 journalists that I reached out, one of them responded, and that's how I got my first story featured in Business Insider. So that's how you just need to continuously do the work and believe that, okay, some people would come and help you, right? And I think once you get featured a few times, then things started flow in your direction.
Still wondering how to build media visibility or go viral on LinkedIn? In the next episode, our guest breaks down the exact strategy that helped one of his posts hit 13 million views, and how that traction turned into real EB1A evidence. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss this.